Welcome to a Feel Good Gaming channel.
What's up everybody, Ace here with another video. Now, usually you'd see some gaming here, just stay tuned. There will be something in between, but that wasn't the reason for this video. I wanted to come before you all today to talk about something serious. I promise it won't be too serious, for now. Now, as many of you know that have followed me for a while anyway, I have, let's say, quite a bit of experience when it comes to air travel. For those of you that are newer, first of all, welcome. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy the content I make, and I hope you enjoy my future content, as if this video does well enough, then you can expect to see more of its kind in future content. Secondly, to recap, I've been on 2 different trips before. My last one was smooth flying, compared to my first one that was, to put into words, heavy turbulence.
I just do it so through some other time. I'm so lost. I'm so fucking lost with a breeze. I want to tell you getting out of country. Oh, you fucking silly, man. Obviously, it could be worse. I could be spending another night until return. My girlfriend's even pissed off about it, and I really can't blame it. I can't blame it because even I'm like super pissed off about it. Just to think, basically, one more sleep until I can hopefully end this bitch. I just want my baby girl at this point.
So, you may be wondering, why do I bring them up now? Well, I'm going on another one very soon that might just be my easiest trip yet, and it got me thinking. Mostly about all that I went through to get this far, or rather, that I've seen and experienced thus far. Then I thought, well, what if I were to share these experiences with not just those around me, but the whole world as well? You know, put together a little something that might help first-time flyers. So, here it is, a top 10 list of travel things I think you should know, based on my own personal experiences, or, as I like to call it, look before you book. Welcome aboard, and I hope you enjoy your flight today aboard Ace Airlines. Number 10. Eating before your flight. Prices for literally everything at airports are about as high as the planes themselves, and that's to add on top of the ticket you pay to even get on the flight. And even if money is no issue, the food being made, since it is still mostly freshly made food, and as such can take a fair amount of time, will have a chance to cut into your travel times. Look, to be honest, I consider not even having this here since it typically, and mostly, depends on the flight you take, how long it takes, and who you are as a person. So if I were to give an example, let's say someone who usually eats a lot and ends up on a 2 to 3 hour flight might need to eat ahead of time, even just a bit of a snack, since that is on top of the time it takes beforehand. Though, any flight with more than 5 to 6 hours will usually result in being fed mid-flight. What do I mean? Don't worry, we will cover travel times later on. Number 10, plan everything ahead of time. This is typically more so before you even book your flight. Before you even start to think about relaxing, there is what seems like a whole work shift of things to think about, which we will most likely cover later. Things like budget for the flight, budget for the trip, choosing the right airline for you, and even a whole packing list to go through too, which, funny enough, is our number 8, making a packing list. Whether you are flying solo or got a small plane of people with you, it's very important that everyone makes the list of things they will need to bring. Now, no list is equal in length, but all lists should be equal in importance and relativity. All items should be mostly based on where the destination is, how long it will take, and who is even doing the packing to begin with. Examples? Well, let's say you're going to Florida for a few weeks for a trip to Disney. Pack for warmer climate and aggressive sunlight, lots of extra dough, seeing as Disney is expensive to begin with, as well as any essentials you think you will need for a few weeks. Another could be the vice versa. Visit Alaska? Pack for the much colder climate. I could go on, but bottom line is, Remember to keep in mind of the little things like laundry and any resupplying you might have to do on any trip. So, pack everything in the kitchen sink, right? Wrong. Now that you have your list, you need to double and even triple and quadruple check if the items you are bringing are allowed on flights to begin with. I could make a list here, but there are plenty of sites you could go to that could make for better reference instead. And let's be honest, it'll make the video far, far too much longer than it needs to be. Anyway, got it? Good. Time for number 7. Find reliable booking sites. With the market completely overrun by first and third party sites and apps to use, what's the best one? That answer, I unfortunately don't know enough about. What I can say though is, if you have a specific airline in mind, they more than likely have their own site or app you can use. The cost of convenience though definitely starts to show itself, so that only leaves third party sites. Again, with so many out there, which one to choose? My personal recommendation? Expedia. Not sponsored by them, by the way. I just really like the app enough to want to give a quick shout out. Though Expedia, if you want to slip me a couple of bucks, I wouldn't mind. I'm joking. Maybe. Anyway, despite all of this, the answer is still up to you. If you still aren't sure, then get insurance alongside any flight you get. While it does seem to be an unnecessary expense at first, it will save you a lot of hassle if something goes wrong. Number 6, always be ready. So, you got your bags packed, your flight's booked, and now you are ready for the airport. Sort of. You see, airports can get absolutely flooded with meat traffic, especially around the holidays, and as such, it could take a lot longer to get things done. What can you do to help speed it up? Have things ready like your passport, boarding pass, and even watch ahead of the line to see what the proper protocols are. Thankfully, the boarding pass will only really be needed at the boarding gates. The other two, on the other hand, will basically become your life as long as the total trip lasts for. Don't worry, the passport itself is so important that it will basically pass for your ID for the total length of the trip, though. You will have to take it out more than a flight attendant walks around a plane. Okay, that was the biggest exaggeration here, but I'm basically saying to guard your passport with your life, but also to make sure it's easily accessible and ready. Okay, forewarning, this is the serious half of the video. I advise you all to pay attention and take notes because I highly recommend these things. Number 5, investing in universal charging dock. Okay. I know this seems like a contradiction to what I just said, but hear me out. This one could be a literal lifesaver. If you happen to be stuck somewhere with a completely different outlet, then you can use these to make sure your ever so reliable devices never die on you. Besides, a lot of them come with a number of USB ports and even a universal connector on top, so you can charge up multiple devices at once. Trust me, they're worth getting. Number 4, pay attention to flight times. So, of this list, this is definitely one of the most personal. I've found it's really important to look at what time your flight is and then make sure that no matter what happens, that you leave a 2-hour gap. Be ready because this is where things get a bit mathematical. Editors, if you please. Okay, here we go. He's gonna get all mathy on us. Don't pay attention too much to it or whatever. Fuck it, we ball. So, let's say you have a 7-hour flight before a 5-hour layover, but the flight experiences problems that last for 2 or 3 hours pre-flight. You would be cutting it a little close still, but it's still manageable with the right planning. Now, let's say you had a similar flight. Same flight time and same pre-flight delay, only now with a 2-hour delay in between. At this point, I suggest asking the local flight attendant that's usually posted up at the gate about any other options, since now it is near impossible to make your next flight. Doing this can spare you a lot of trouble. Number 3, learn the local language. So, most places nowadays speak some form of English to some degree. This won't always be the case. Depending on where you are visiting, this can matter that much more and make that much more of a difference. This can be very helpful in lots of different ways, ranging from little things like getting recommendations on places to visit, going up to things as big as asking for help if you manage to find yourself in a pickle. The point is, you never know what can happen on trips like these, so it helps quite a bit to be prepared ahead of time. I won't get into too much detail with this one, as I personally felt it to be fairly more self-explanatory. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Number 2, get to the airport at least 2 hours early. I'm going to be honest, I debated just tying this one into number 4, but it's slightly different in its ruling, so we will talk about it anyway. So, depending on how much luggage you have, what you have in your luggage, how busy the airport is, and so on, this can become even more important, since if you can't even get to your flight in time to even worry about boarding it, well, then you are, in words, pretty fucking screwed. It will take an entire process just to either get another flight or be refunded entirely. And without insurance, it will definitely become an even greater hassle to have to manage. Number 1, be constantly self-aware at all times. Okay, I will admit, this is more a fact of life sort of situation, but with an airport, it's easier to explain. There are thousands upon thousands of people in these places at one time, all originating from God knows where. It is near impossible to know what kind of people you will inevitably bump into, theoretically and literally. I'm talking specifically about the type of people that will make you question your own safety. I won't get into detail, but I will say that, well, let's just say, if you were put into a situation you are the slightest bit unsure of, then you might be experiencing one of these people. It's okay though, as long as you pay close attention to your surroundings, your vacation can remain a vacation and it can still be fun. Just be sure to prioritize your own safety first if you can, and maybe try to look around for any nearby signage. So, there we have it, my top 10 list of things I think you should know for flight travel based on my own personal experiences. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more to know, and I'm sure a lot of it is more important than any of the things on this list, but again, this is from my own experiences and my experiences alone. So if you know anything else, make sure to drop them in the comments below, as well as any thoughts you might have on the video as a whole, any video or stream ideas you may have, as well as just saying hi. Also, a quick side note, as of the release of this video, I will more than likely not be uploading for a couple weeks, since I will be visiting my lovely fiance again, hence the trip I was talking about prior. Also, yes, she did inspire this very video, and you may consider this a shout out directly to her. So, honey, if you are watching, hello, and I love you. Oh, that reminds me, in addition, any content we do make will be on her channel. Link will be in the description below, as well as part of the end credits. Or title card, if you will. So, with that being said, everybody, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know with a like. Anything you'd like to say can be handled in the comments below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel and you want more content like this. Again, this is my first video in a long time that I actually put a great amount of effort into. So remember, if this video does well enough, then you can expect it to be the new norm of content I plan to do here. Just expect me to be a bit more tired. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and as I will see you all in the next video where live stream Stanlines Jr. Pellets!